What's up guys, Brian here of You Got the Gaming, and there are a lot of talks in Mobile Legends on who is the best or the most powerful marksman in the game as of now. Let me help you and stop you from debating on who is the better marksman in the game. Yes, some of them can indeed be so dominant in the game when you configure them properly. So for today's video, we will break them down and rank them up according to their strength and advantages in the game. Let's start. There are many factors you should consider ranking marksman heroes in the game. There are so many, and most of them have the potential of being the top marksman in the game. This ranking of marksman heroes was created by my team and me. This is the way we see it, but I know that some of you have own rankings of marksman heroes in the game. Share it to us in the comment section down below and we will see it. Let's start at the bottom of the ranking. For us, Lyla is the least one when it comes to marksman heroes. I think she lacks many abilities to consider an excellent marksman in the game. Yes, she can have massive damage in the late game when she already has many items. But the thing is, she is a liability in the early game and can easily be killed obviously. Lyla lacks mobility, and that is the very reason why Lyla will not have a good transition to the late game. Next is Shin. This is a marksman hero that can also be a fighter. When he is near the enemy or beside an enemy, he will become a melee hero. But if he is far from enemy heroes or minions, he will use his bow to enemies with long range attacks. Shin is in the bottom because he is very soft and can easily be killed in the game. Aside from that, like Lyla, he will be a liability in your team in the early game. Yes, some of you will say that Shin can help a team using his ultimate skill. That is correct. But we think that there are a lot of marksman heroes that can deal more damage than him. And the very reason why I put him in the bottom is that he doesn't have enough mobility to survive in the game. Next is Clint. Like other marksman heroes, Clint can also be an excellent marksman in your team because of his ability to deal massive damage and critical damages to the enemies. Clint is the third lowest marksman for me because, like the previous heroes, he does not have enough mobility to survive in the game and to transition well into the late game. Aside from that, I think that he is a slow farmer in the early game because he does not have enough abilities to clear minion waves fast. Before we jump right into our next hero, I would like to say that these heroes in the bottom part of our rankings are also useful in the game. They just don't have enough firepower to be a dominant marksman in the game. But if you are good at playing marksman heroes, I think that you could use them and still win a game. Let's continue. Next in our rankings is Irit. Irit is a great marksman hero that can deal massive critical damages. Aside from that, like Kimmie, Irit can damage enemies while moving. She can attack enemies while she is running from them or attack them while chasing them. But Irit has a slight disadvantage when it comes to her durability. She is a very soft hero that can be a liability in the early game because she also lacks mobility. I think many of you will wonder why Mia clinched up to this rank. For me, she can be a great marksman hero in a team when you know the effective position of a marksman. Mia can deal a lot of damage because of her passive that when she successfully hits an enemy or minions 8 times consecutively, she will have an additional attack speed that can be very deadly when she already has many items. Aside from that, she can also hit many enemies using her first active skill. And the very reason why I put her to this rank is because of his ultimate skill that will make her invisible for a short period of time. With that, you can position her to a great spot to hit enemies. Next in the list is Hanabi. Hanabi is a hero that can be a good asset in team fights. She can attack many enemies using her basic attacks when she activates her first skill. Aside from that, she cannot get quickly killed by the enemies. Most of you will wonder why Hanabi cannot be easily killed when she doesn't have enough active skills that can make her escape when being chased or ambushed. If you are a Hanabi user, I guess that you already knew this. Hanabi's passive skill is a great advantage that she has. When Hanabi's HP is full, 50% of HP that would have been granted from lifesteal is converted into a shield for up to 20% of her max HP. When the shield is activated, she is immune to all control skills and her movement speed is increased by 30%. Aside from that, Hanabi controls her ultimate skill and root the enemies that will be hit by it. Next is Moskov. I guess most of the old players of Mobile Legends knew Moskov, and I think that they have countered the time that they either like Moskov or hate him so much. Why? Because way back, Moskov is the most powerful marksman in the game, and he is scary when he becomes your enemy because he can greatly deal a lot of damage to you and to your teammates. He has a passive that can make his normal attack damage through enemies within the save path. Aside from that, he is a marksman that has a good mobility. He has the first skill that will make him teleport to a short distance of his designated spot, and adding additional attack speed after he uses it. Also, he has the second skill that will push back enemies and will be knocked up when they hit another hero, wall, or a turret. He also has the ultimate skill that will make him throw a dagger to a specified direction anywhere on the map. So if you have low life and there are some Moskov in the enemy team, watch out for his ultimate skill. Obviously, Moskov can be in the top 1 in the rankings, but the main reason why I put him lower than that is that he has a shorter range than the other marksman in the game. Next in our list in our top 7 for marksman is Leslie. Though Leslie is not a hero that has a great mobility, she can be a dominant force in the game with the use of her abilities that can deal massive critical damages to the enemies. Aside from that, Leslie can use her first active skill and enter a camouflage state for 3 seconds while increasing her movement speed by 30% and physical attack by 50%. Basically, Leslie climbed up to the top 7 because she can easily be used, and she can get easily buffed up. She can be so scary when it comes to the later part of the game. Next in the list is a hero that, like Moskov, is a very great marksman before, and it is Claude. I am not saying that Claude is outdated or is not useful as of now. Claude can still be a great marksman in a team because of his ability to push towers, get objectives, and to damage enemies. Unlike the other marksman, Claude has excellent mobility and can escape enemies with the use of his second skill. He can elude enemies that will chase him or ambush him using it. Aside from that, his first active skill will give him an extra attack speed and movement speed when he uses it. Claude is also a good hero when it comes to killing minion waves, thanks to his ultimate skill that will make him able to damage enemies within a small area massively. Even I did put Claude only on top 6, it would be best if you would not underestimate him. If Claude will be used by a competent marksman player, or let's say a good Claude user, he will punish you in terms of damaging, getting objectives like the turtle and the lord, and especially pushing towers. For our top 5 is one of the most surprising heroes of this season, and it is Bruno. Mobile Legends did a great job buffing Bruno, adding damage to his first skill and making his dash longer than before. Bruno is one of the top marksman heroes that can significantly deal massive damage to enemies. He's a great marksman hero that a team can rely on. Bruno can be a good carry for a team if you would configure him effectively. He can help a team in such a way that he can push towers and greatly damage enemies. Just be sure to hit those soccer balls with the help of his first active skill. Next for our top 4 is Kimmie. Kimmie is a unique marksman hero in the game. She can also be a mage, and that is the very reason why she is on our top 4. Having the ability to deal magic damage and physical damage to enemies is one of a kind. In that way, enemies will be confused about what defense item they are going to build. Is it magic defense or is it physical defense? Kimmie can help a team in many ways. She is a great hero when it comes to damage dealing and pushing enemy turrets. She also has a very long range attack when she activates her first skill. The good thing about Kimmie is that she can be a dominant force as early as the game starts. But the bad news is that you can also be the weakest marksman in the game when it comes to the late game. So my advice to you when you use Kimmie is that you must finish the game as early as possible. She has all the potentials of making it to the top 1, but he falls under the top 4 because the next marksman heroes are very outstanding in many ways. Before we go to our top 3, I would like to say that ranking these 3 remaining heroes is very tough. So I hope that you find fairness and justice to my top 3 marksman heroes in the game. So for our top 3 marksman hero in the game is Granger. I think some of you will doubt that Granger is only a top 3 marksman in the game as of now. Yes, I am also confused. But the very reason why he's only a top 3 marksman for me is that most of the assassin heroes nowadays are very strong and can kill marksman heroes quickly. Yes, Granger has a second skill that will allow him to dash to a specified area, but I think that it is not enough to escape enemies like Hellcurt, Gusion, or Link. Again, just to clarify, this does not imply to all players out there. Even with those assassins in their enemy team, some of them can use Granger very effectively. Granger has the first active skill that will make him blast 6 bullets in a row and can massively hurt enemies. He also has the ultimate skill that will allow him to fire 3 massive bullets away with a farther distance and can damage enemies that will be hit by it. So basically, Granger is a very useful marksman you can use. Aside from that, players can easily use him in the game. And for our top 2 is Kari. Many of you will not agree with this. I know most of you guys are hyped up about the meta marksman heroes. Many of you will say that Kari is outdated, and a lot of marksman heroes are better than her. But I will say to you guys that Kari is a very strong marksman you could ever use in the game. She is just too complete for a marksman hero. She has a second skill that will make him dash to a specified place and will throw a blade to the nearest enemy. She also has the first skill that will make her a good hero in terms of killing minion waves or monsters. And of course, her ultimate skill that will double her basic attacks. But the best thing about Kari is her passive that will mark enemy heroes when she hits them. And when she hits them with 5 consecutive attacks, she will deal 100% of her total damage without the defense ability of the enemy. Kari is simply a good marksman hero you can use in the game. She is very useful when you have many opponents that have high durability, because she will ignore their defense stats with the help of her passive skill. And finally, for our top 1 is the newest marksman in the game, 1-1. 1-1 is a complete marksman hero in the game. I put her on top of this ranking because of her ability to deal damage to enemies and her unquestionable mobility. She has a second skill that will remove all the control skills or debuff instantly, and having this ability is an excellent factor in why she is our top 1 marksman hero. She can escape enemies with the use of her second skill. Aside from that, her passive skill will make her distant to enemies who want to chase her. 1-1 can move a short distance every after she attacks an enemy or minions. She can also massively damage enemies with the help of his passive skill. 1-1 reveals the weakness and the position of the enemy heroes hit by her weapons. And after she completes to hit all the weak spots of an enemy, she will be able to cast her ultimate skill and shoot an arrow to enemies using her crossbow while she is on the air and immune to all damage, even control skills. And that is the very reason why 1-1 is our top 1 marksman hero as of now. She can be so deadly and you can't get close to her because of her excellent mobility. Again, ranking these marksman heroes is very hard because there are a lot of factors to consider. But I hope that this can help you. I hope you learned a lot in this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yogatech.com/gaming for more news, tips, and tricks. This has been Brian, and see you again in the next one.